Okay, so this will be a demo for self-evolving apps. So think about you have an example, a quotation engine, right? So you have a skill created for Claude or for Codex. Have your conversation, uh, which I just started, right? I want to create a proposal for blue coffee. Claude will go read the skill, get the files, ask me for the files, and then once it receives, starts looking at the scope. So we need to automate some Shopify to HubSpot orders and some supplier invoices and so on. Doesn't really matter, right? Uh, Claude will come back with questions. I need to answer those questions, but this is a very unintuitive interface for answering these questions, right? Chat is not always the best, right? So, but okay, we work with the once we have all this um, predefined information, the brief, it will ask me what the approach should be and start generating the sections, right? Once I want to update something of what was generated because I'm not happy with it, I need to maybe copy and paste, tell it in text again, remove this section, proceed with the next section, again go to next, yes, approved, next section, right? So but I do not have a very uh, customized interface for this process. I can use the skill, I can leverage Cloud Code, Cloud AI to generate this proposal, but the feedback we got from customers that this is not very intuitive, and they do not always know what is the next step, what should they do, how should they feedback the AI. So when we started learning, working on this concept, uh, we created a proposal for make it future, right? So if I have here a dedicated application, you can see this is running right now on my computer. I have this proposal. I have a step-by-step guide, which is will ask me for name, in this case also the file. So I drag and drop the files here, and then I start analyze. Once I click this analyze, I have a session going directly to Claude Code, which is analyzing now the files. Once the files are generated, I'm gonna get back a response. So then I'm getting back the results from Claude, and Claude can um, define all the different details based on the skill. Once I'm happy, I'm going to go and create it, or I can discuss with Claude to update that. So when I click this analyze, again, takes the file, takes all the information, and sends that in the blue coffee folder, and starts putting together a task list. What that really means, Claude code skill is defined once it has the information to define what are the next section that needs to generate, and it will provide this task list to the application, right? So what I like about that is that if I modify the skill and I add one more section in the skill, the task list will be different, right? So practically the app flow will update based on what we define in the Claude skill. So once the uh, sections, the task list is created, you can see it here on the left. I have a list of tasks based on my skill, and then the first section to generate is the current state of business, right? And Claude starts generating that section. In this case, I'm streaming automatically the response. I could even stream like the different tool calling and different things that Claude does. In this case, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to keep it simple. Um, if I'm happy with this section, I will then approve that section, and it will be very obvious because I have here an approve button. Or if I want to skip a section, I have a skip button. If I'm not happy with something, I can go and highlight that information. Okay, let's wait for it to finish. Okay, so Claude just finished. Now, if I'm unhappy with something, I don't know, I'm not okay with this information here. Let's say, hey, remove this section, this part. this part. I'm not sure how many orders. Add feedback. I want to change something else. I go and add one more. Remove, add more details for this reconciliation. Right, so I can add as much feedback I want. Once I'm happy with it, I can say, okay, send. And this will send back this will send back the feedback to Claude and or Codex for that matter, and it will regenerate the section based on my comments. Um, Again, the main value of this is that you have a controlled step-by-step interface dedicated for the type of application that you need to use, but at the same time you leverage the Cloud capabilities. You're still working with the skills that were created for generating this, and even more, if you want to sometimes you might want to update the skill, you can even message Cloud directly from this interface and say, hey, update that update the skill to never generate this section or to always generate certain pricing or whichever improvement you need to make. Of course, you will need to have the right permissions associated with your account to be able to update that skill. And this is set up by the application again. So I hope this is useful and self-explanatory. That's kind of the self-evolving applications that we think will make a difference on how we develop applications with Cloud.